As long as you refuse to be miserable, you will become successful and overcome any trials and tribulations. Welcome or welcome back. It's your favorite mental health specialist, Ty Guidance. And yes, that is what we're going to be talking about in today's video. Now, with that being said, because there's no right or wrong way to heal yourself, always and only take what resonates as well as leave the rest. So if it doesn't apply, it's not for you, so let it fly. But most importantly, grab your pens, grab your papers, and be prepared to take notes. In this video, we're going to talk about why you are not going to be miserable despite your current circumstances or anything you experience from your past, as well as some recommendations, some reminders, some disclaimers, and what to be aware of as you continue to level up and heal yourself. Starting off with the disclaimers, starting off with the things that you should be aware of. As you are learning to not internalize negative energy from certain people, places, and things, you do have to allow yourself grace, which means you have to allow yourself to grieve. That's what I wanted to say. You do have to allow yourself to recover. When it comes to healing, you need time to recover. Now, because healing is not a one-size-fits-all, your recovery period could last years. It could last days. It could last weeks. It could last months. You don't have to rush your healing journey when you've exposed yourself to trials and tribulations or have been exposed to negativity and projections and deflections, because trauma does change us emotionally, physically, psychologically, howeverly. It does impact us. So if you've experienced a lot of trauma from your early years in life, in your childhood, your teenage years, and even as an adult, you have to realize that you're at a point in your life where you're wanting to release it, but in order for you to release it, you have to impact it. Which leads us into the second thing. As you're learning to give yourself grace and you are grieving, you have to reflect. So on your notes and in the comment section, I'm challenging you to understand, when you were exposed in these situations, how did it make you feel? And you have to elaborate. You have to be vulnerable. You have to be honest. In order for you to not be miserable, you have to acknowledge that, you know what, when I was touched on inappropriately at the age of 7 or at the age of 8 or 10, it made me uncomfortable. It made me paranoid. It made me not feel safe. When I was fired at the age of 15, when I was fired at the age of 30, when I was fired at the age of 26, it made me feel depressed. When I experienced homelessness, it made me feel insecure. It made me feel like a loser, whatever it did. You have to be able to release all the trauma that's inside of you, because that's where it's at. Until you're able to articulate yourself and find ways to exercise the negative emotions, you will constantly feel like you're going through a psychological warfare, or what people say, spiritual warfare, or having demons attacking you, when honestly it's baggage from certain people, places, and things that don't belong to you. Of course, nobody wants to be traumatized, but until people realize how certain things are affecting them and speaking up about them to come up with solutions, you're constantly going to replay these memories, which causes the PTSD and the anxiety and the depression and the BPD and the ADHD and the 1, 2, 3s. The third thing you need to be aware of is that when you are learning to be vulnerable, you have to take your time. This is a process. Healing is a process. And that goes back to the second thing, but you have to be able to know that you're going to experience a season of discomfort. You're going to have moments where your emotions fluctuate. So one day you could feel positive, the next day you could feel negative. You are unlearning and learning new ways to articulate yourself. You're learning and learning new ways to express yourself. You're finding ways to exercise your emotions, whether it's journaling, seeking therapy, going to a psychiatrist, going to a guidance counselor, praying, go to God, answers to the universe, take what resonates, leave the rest, because we're not here to force religion or spirituality. You're meditating, you're grounding yourself, you're doing yoga, you're exercising, like you're finding hobbies and goals that make you feel good about yourself. This is a process. So it's like, don't compare what you've gone through to what other people are going through, especially if these people and these places and things that you're currently surrounding yourself with are not contributing and being patient with you and holding your hand or recommending and motivating and educating like myself. This is what we do here. This is a mental health channel. We're here to motivate, educate, inform. Of course, I would like to make these videos a little bit more entertaining, but it's serious. And a lot of people discredit their mental health and act like they don't have issues. And this is why people kill people. This is why people hurt people. And this is why people continue to do abuse. It's not okay. I'm not here to condone it and I'm not here to invalidate it. But as somebody who has witnessed karma from other people and gone through some things in my life, I've realized I don't want to be miserable. Just because I've had certain situations affect me doesn't mean that I have to stay there. And especially when, and that's going to be the fourth thing, when it was out of your control. The fourth thing is realizing what's in your control and what's not. As you're reflecting, as you're learning what has happened to you and how it made you feel, if you realize that you did everything that you could to the best of your knowledge with the resources and the tools that you had, whether they were unlimited or not, what more could you do? Like, we can't go back in the past. We can't change what we said and what we did. If we could, we would have, and we wouldn't be in the situations that we're in right now. The time is going to go by, and so did the time in your past. What I realized when it comes to my healing journey is that when I made certain choices and I was experienced to certain traumas, I had to hold myself accountable and realize what was in my control, what did I do right, and what did I do wrong. And a lot of times when you don't have the education, when you don't have friends, when you don't have family, when you don't have a therapist, when you don't believe in God, answers to the universe, when you feel lost, when you feel confused, when you're not taught and shown emotional intelligence and how to be healthy and heal and positivity and everything that we're talking about, you constantly beat yourself up. You constantly feel like you're the victim. You constantly feel like you can't move forward. And that's not it. I refuse to be miserable when I made certain choices based off of what I was taught and shown, whether it was good or bad, from our family members, from our coworkers, from the people we went to school with, from the people we dated, from the people that we were related to. Why should we beat ourselves up about certain situations when a lot of times we didn't want to put ourselves in these situations? Like recently there was a comment that I had on one of my videos about learning to forgive yourself and learning to forgive yourself from people who were like, let's just say, negative and abusive. And I had to explain to the gentleman that when you're a good person, you will always be a good person. And no, it doesn't make it acceptable how people treated you, but it's like there's something that you had to learn from in that situation. This doesn't mean that you have to stop being a good person. This doesn't mean that you can't continue to be who you are, but it's like, learn from the situation. If you know that you didn't ask to be touched on inappropriately, or you didn't know how to defend yourself, or you didn't have nobody who believed in you and you couldn't tell anybody because you had that fear, you were paranoid, it's not fair to beat yourself up, or that version of you who didn't know any better. If you come from poverty and you're stressed out because now, let's just say you lose your job, you're homeless, whatever it is, and you weren't taught about financial literacy or financial abundance, why go through hell and high water? Is that saying hell and high water or hell and high water? High water or hot water is what I was trying to say. You guys, I'm thinking about Saucy Santana. Like, he was talking about that on his TikTok recently. But anyways, I don't think it's fair to beat myself up when I only knew what I knew. And that's the same thing with you. Because it's like, if you really look at the things that we've gone through, it's just a part of our growth. And it's like, you can learn from it. When I got fired, you guys, at 20 years old, in the moment, once again, I've never been fired. Financially, I've been taking care of myself since I was 17. So, of course, in the moment, I thought it was the end of the world. And the only reason why I thought it was the end of the world is because I grew up fortunate. I grew up privileged. Once I was no longer at that job and it clicked to me like, okay, what am I going to do? I just had to realize that in that moment, all I had to do was either A, get a new job, or B, become an entrepreneur. And I went with B, becoming an entrepreneur. Of course, it takes time. Of course, your feelings are valid. But it's like, the longer we hold on to emotions and attachments into feelings of things that we're meant to let go, which is going to be a different topic. Stay tuned for October. It's going to be a part of the playlist. The longer you suffer. When people went out their way to gossip and talk and spread rumors about me, I never thought highly of these people. Second of all, I knew I wasn't going to be in these people's life forever. And third of all, I knew I was only around these people because of my current circumstances. I'm not going to allow the people in my family, the people I went to school with, the people I went to work with, the people that I dated to make me feel bad about them having no class. These people that spread lies and rumors and negative and thought they were taking advantage of me, they didn't. Because I'm a good person when I met them. I was a good person while I was with them. And I'm a great person afterwards. What do I look like losing sleep when these people were low vibrational? These people were insecure. These people are ugly inside and out. Ugly spirit, ugly energy, ugly, just ugly, period. This doesn't mean that the time, the energy, and effort that you experienced when you were traumatized was in vain, or that you didn't invest time, energy, and effort. But it's like, what could you do about it? I refuse to be sad. I refuse to be a victim. And I refuse to be bitter, because that's what those people want. Now, if you've been in situations where you were in the wrong, hold yourself accountable. And that's what I was explaining to the gentleman. Like, holding yourself accountable is not hard if you want better. Unless you don't want better for yourself, you're going to think that you having to learn from situations is challenging, because it's really not. This doesn't mean that you're not going to have to take the time to heal yourself and educate yourself and learn and be in isolation and lose certain people, places, and things. But everything comes with a price. Everything costs. If you want to be abundant, if you want to live a certain type of life, if you want to heal, you want to do certain things, you actually have to be about it. And that's what we do over here. And I only trigger people who don't want to do the work. In real life, you have to move on. You have to learn how to detach from certain people, places, and things. Now, of course, I'm experienced. I've been doing this for 28 years. So where I'm at in my life, it is easy. It does come to me naturally. And this is why I recommend and I advise and I give. I pour into the people. You watching this. You're not me. So until you take the time to do the work, you self-reflect, you go to your therapist, you go to God, ancestors, universe, you take the time to realize why you had to do certain things until it clicks. Because some people are just hard-headed. Some people are prideful. Some people learn differently. Don't be like that. It shouldn't have to take you getting beat up by the world and by certain people, places, and things to where it breaks you down. You know, especially if you don't have to. So it's like, if you weren't taught and shown, if you know you didn't, you know your situations. If you know you grew up in a toxic and low vibrational environment, and you know it's nothing but trauma, you've experienced poverty since an early age. Did you ask to be in a broke family? No. And that's what it is. Like, you have to learn how to sit with yourself. Everyone's not going to care about you. You think the people that tried to traumatize me cared about me? No. If they didn't care about themselves, why would they care about me? If these people hate themselves, why on earth would they say, you know what, Ty, let me care about her feelings? No. You will be disappointed if you expect people to be like you. And this is why it's not everybody, right? It's some people, but it's like, we just have to look at ourselves in the mirror. And that's something that I do every day, not out of vanity, but it's like, be for real. You deserve to be confident. You deserve to be happy. And so do I. I deserve to reap what I sow. I am very hardworking. I take care of myself. I do right. And when I don't, you get tapped on the hand. You get popped. Some of you all never been tapped, and some of you all never been popped. Some of you all never been on punishment. Some of you all never been disciplined. Some of you all are not used to having things taken away from you, and this is what it is. You ask for a sign, you keep crying, you keep whining. Wake up. If I could throw a bucket of water on your face right now, I would. So we're going to take what resonates. We're going to leave the rest. We're going to wipe our tears. We're going to cry. We're going to journal. We're going to find ways to exercise and express how we feel. And we just have to go through it. You can't avoid the recovery process. So many people are trying to avoid the recovery process. And I'm speaking from experience. You cannot. The time is not going to go nowhere. Outside is not going to go nowhere. And if you do believe in God, ancestors, universe, it's not on your time. You don't have as much control as you think you do. You really don't. you really don't. So it's just like, go through it, because releasing things, like I said, it takes time. And speaking from experience, all the people who don't take the time to recover properly and they try to rush and these people fold. these people fold. They're like, I know people in real life that are miserable. People act like they're happy, and a lot of people think because people have materials, because people look good on the outside, that spirit, your heart posture sucks. People neglect themselves. Take your time. It's no rush. Like, trauma does change everybody. You don't have to be ashamed. You don't have to be embarrassed. And as you're healing yourself and as you're not being miserable, cut off the people that are. I don't care who it is. I don't care who it is. Unless you have to be around certain people, like you work with them, you're in school, or you live with these people, do what you need to do while you need to do it and get up on your business. Eventually, you're going to be removed from these people, places, and things, or they will be removed from you. Don't try to fight it. Let it go. When certain things leave your life, let it go. Your parents, your coworkers, your kids, your dogs, well, maybe not your dogs and your pets, whatever it is. When it's time to end, it's time to end. Learn the lesson. That's it. Learn the lesson so your life could become easier. The sooner you learn a lesson, the sooner you realize, hey, you're not supposed to be here. You're not supposed to be doing this. You're not going to continue the same cycles. Now, if you continue the same cycles, you deserve, like I said, to get popped. You deserve it. And of course, I'm not here to promote violence and corruption and chaos, but as you guys continue to get to know me, you get to know yourself. And as your favorite rich auntie, because that's who I really am, I'm just making this account, okay? If you guys know, I do have other social medias. I'm your favorite rich auntie who's a businesswoman who's about her business, okay? I don't play those games. I am old school, very much so, traditional, okay? Don't make me jump through this phone. Get it together. We're not going to be miserable. I'm making this video towards the end of the month of September. Let me know when you're watching this. Going in the month of October, if you've seen the past videos, and in this video, I give you guys a glimpse and a sneak peek of what we're going to be talking about moving forward. Because then afterwards, I think it's only, what, like 3 months left? 2 months left? November, December, October, November, 2 to 3 months left of 2025 when I'm making this, at least. Are you going to be miserable for the rest of your life? Or are you going to forgive yourself? Are you going to be patient? Are you going to give yourself grace? Are you going to realize that you were touched on inappropriately? You were fired. You were homeless. You were jobless. You didn't graduate high school. You did get held back. You were hit by a bus. You did get your wisdom teeth taken out. You did lose the fight. Do you not realize what you've been through? Be for real. You realize that you have people trying to do certain things to mess with your mind and your, do you not know who you are? Did you forget? Did you forget who you are? Because over here, we don't forget who we are. And like I said, anybody who has a problem, they gotta go. And as your favorite rich auntie, I have no problem letting them know you are not welcomed, okay? So thank you guys for watching this video all the way to the end. Thank you for giving a big thumbs up like always. Thank you for commenting down below. Thank you for turning on your post notifications if you're not already subscribed. Let me know what resonates. Let me know what we need to work on. Stop being afraid. Stop being judgmental. Stop being paranoid. We don't do that. So all rude and negative, disrespectful comments, blocked, ignored, and delete or mute. Okay, thank you. As well as when you guys are following me on all my social media platforms, on Instagram and on TikTok, I will be going live, going over the questions that you guys have. If you haven't already booked your service in a session, my website is also in the description down below. And DM me if I didn't, answer the questions that you have on live from Instagram and TikTok, or maybe you just didn't afford or at the time book a service in a session. But I love you guys, appreciate you guys. But yeah, I refuse to be miserable. And if this video resonates with you, put it in the comment section. I refuse to be miserable. For what? If you know you're out here being a good person and you're doing the best that you can with what you know and what you have, and you're not malicious, you're not evil, you have a good heart, you have a good spirit, and God and your ancestors and universe knows your heart, what do we look like being miserable? Give that energy back to those dusty, crusty people, okay? Love you, bye.